Hello, everyone. Long time no see. Well,
Yes.
I am Lindsay. This is Maria and our special guest, LeeLee, and we are Roomies Review the Movies. I have a degree in film, and Maria has been reviewing and what is it called? I'll draw a blank.
I've been doing film reviews for since like
Yes,
2000.
right. You've been doing reviews since 2000. It's wow. Yeah, that has been
It's a long
over 20
time.
years.
Yeah.
Gosh.
And I'm just
All
familiar
right.
with the TV.
Right.
Hey.
Yes, and we are here to review 1994's Low Down Dirty Shame. It stars Keenan Ivory Wayans, Jada Pickett, Before the Smith, Sally Richardson, Charles S. Dutton, has quite a few known names.
Hmm.
This was a movie that I watched frequently, saw it at the movies, and this is Maria's first time viewing.
It
So
is.
let's dive in. So we have we have a scene where um, Jada Pickett's character, which is Peaches, she is dressed up in a maid's uniform at a hotel, and she has oh shoot, hold on, sorry, forgot to plug up my iPad. Sorry.
All right.
Yeah.
Yeah, but Peaches is dressed up as a maid in a hotel, and Peaches just busting in the rooms on people. Like,
Yeah, she just busted in the rooms like housekeeping. She busted in on some people having adult time. She
some
busted,
afternoon delight.
yeah. She busted in on somebody that really was stinking up the place. And then she busted in on a drug deal. And in the drug deal, she just, busted in, came through. They was trying to tell her to leave. She didn't want to. And then next thing you know, the cart that she was pushing, a person popped out, which is Keenan Ivory Wayans' character, which his character name is Shane. And so he busts out the cart with two guns, and he is pretty much breaking up this deal. Actually, it wasn't a drug deal; it was a jewelry deal.
Yeah, they were trading
Black
diamonds.
one, yeah,
Right.
black market jewelry, yeah. So, he has his little one-liners here and there, and and he takes the diamonds, and then there's a shootout, and he's running through. He shoots the window out, and he jumps out the window because that was the
And then
only way he can get out.
it was the only way out of the room, and like all the
Mhm.
other dudes there for the deal had all these automatic weapons and stuff just shooting up the hotel. I was like, rest in
Yeah,
peace to the neighboring rooms. My God.
yeah. I saw that you said that. I was worried about the people in the other building when Shane was shooting the window, because I'm like, them
Yeah,
bullets didn't stop at the window.
that's it.
So yeah, so he um he jumps out the window, and then the hotel room is about 50 flights up.
It,
And
it seems forever tall. Like, oh my God.
yes. And so um during this scene or whatever, he had told Peaches to leave. So she had left the room, but she was the one that told him, she called up there and told him that there were more people coming. So that was the reason why he couldn't leave out the front door. But she told him that she would have a limo on the side waiting for him. So that's the reason why he jumped out the window. He landed right on the limo, just right on in, made his own what is that called? Sunroof. Yeah.
Yes.
Made his own sunroof through the limo.
And
And
drove
that's
top
how
today.
yeah. And that's how he got out of there, you know. And it was very costly as well. So
Yes, because he's like, the insurance was gonna pay him 10,000 to get the diamonds back, I guess.
Yeah,
was like over $1 million of diamonds there, and I'm just like, you gonna get in 10,000?
only 10,000. Yeah. So, yeah, so his occupation is a private investigator. He's a former cop though. And so, Peaches is his secretary, his executive secretary, his secretary.
Secret. She has placards for every position,
Yeah,
which I love a lot. She's got her placards for secretary and what the other secretary, and then just one for, just for her name. Like,
right. She's a jack of all trades. So,
yes, I love
um,
how proud she is.
yes, she went to school for it. And
Mhm.
so, one thing that she's also proud of is her love for the stories.
She loves the stories.
Yes. And so our next scene is her at the office, which doubles as Shane's place of residence. And she is there on the phone with her friend watching the stories. And they are engulfed in
It
the
is
story.
so funny to me. I
Yes,
love it.
yes. So many people used to be like that.
Hmm.
Now they
On
probably
the phone with your best friend watching the show. Like,
hmm
yes.
yeah, now they probably like that about reality shows, but yeah,
Oh
back
yeah.
then it was the soap operas. So, yeah, Shane comes home and they have a conversation about pretty much how things are going with the business and with his life. His life, he's in a state of depression. You can kind of tell that he's in a state of depression, and
Yeah.
things financially aren't going the best and whatnot. And you know, Peaches is just basically trying to tell him, he needs to get his act together.
Yeah, he owes everybody. Everything's
He
about to be repossessed or
or
evicted or
cut
da, da,
off,
da.
yeah,
Right.
all the above. And with that, he also has a check in the mail for this jury retrieve or diamond retrieval. And with that, we see that a letter came with the check saying that all of the damage that he did to get the diamonds wasn't covered. And so it's been taken out of his pay. So a check for $10,000 ends up being $3,000.
Oh, was it 3? I thought it was 5. Wow.
Yeah, it looked like three to me.
It really shouldn't have been anything, honestly.
He should have been in a negative.
Yeah.
Because I'm like, that window he shot up alone probably was $10,000.
Oh, definitely.
Yeah. So, but yeah. So we see him being visibly upset behind that because that's some BS. But yeah. Next thing you know, they have a visitor, and the visitor is Charles S. Dutton's character, which is Wayman.
No, Charles S. Denton's character is
It's
Sonny.
yeah, Sonny. He's a cop.
Wayman is the roommate.
Why do they have this as
They
Wayman?
have Charles S. Dutton's picture on there in Google for some reason.
Oh, yeah. Okay.
Yeah, I don't know why.
Yeah.
Because even if you click on the little picture where it says Wayman, it takes you to the actual actor's page and everything. But for some
Oh,
reason, Charles S. Dutton's picture appears there. Google's having some problems.
yeah. Yeah, because not all black people look alike. So, yeah. Okay, so Charles
Especially
S.
them
Dutton's
two. Them
character.
two. Them two is definitely
Not at all
not in
similar
the
No.
same category at
in
all.
any way.
No, not
Height,
none of that.
weight, stature, none of that.
Nothing. Nothing. But they saw a black face and said, screw it.
During Black
So,
History Month, Google.
yeah. So yeah, so Charles Dutton character name is Sonny. And so Sonny pays Shame and Peaches a visit. Um Sonny and Shame used to work together for the LAPD and they no longer neither one of them no longer works for the LAPD. Sonny is now a politician.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. And Shame is a private investigator. So Sonny enlisted Shane to do a missing persons investigation. for a lady that Shane used to date. And this lady is Sally Richardson's character,
Mhm.
which is Angela. And so um they need to find her or whatnot. And so he takes the case, and um of course Sonny is happy or whatever, and he's gonna tell his business partners or whatnot that he's gonna be able to deliver. And so um they disperse or whatnot, and Shane tells Peaches to go to Rodeo and just, find out what she can find out. There's a
Right.
particular perfume that she likes that she can only get at this one store. So
And
she
he
goes to
knows
Rodeo.
because he bought it for her.
Right, right.
And then he
So
gives Peaches $100. I was like, what are we doing?
yeah, right,
Is she supposed to
right.
eat that?
Especially, like, of course, that can only buy you a half a tank of gas in LA now. But in '94, that still wasn't nothing for Rodeo Drive.
No,
You know what I mean? So
not
that
at
was
all.
that was crazy. That he really tried it, but I mean, he's broke. He would try
He told Peach to buy a keychain and blend in, bitch.
A
it.
keychain, please.
Right, right. He yeah, he tried it with $100, but of course he ended up giving her more. But she she goes and to see what she can see. And oh shoot. Then what else
Yeah,
happened?
he finds her out there and she's all decked out in name brand head to
Yeah,
toe. Bought him
it's
some silk underwear and a tie from the same
yeah,
brand, but she did find like the girl's phone number and her PO box.
yes. Yes. And the um the designer was like Freme. They had a whole back and forth
Yeah,
with the Freme. Yeah. And that's when Shane was like, oh, y'all on me. Don't be on my silk drawers. Don't love me like you do. Yeah.
right.
So yeah. So while they're out there, they see a crowd of people. And when they see the crowd of people, they're like, okay, who is that? Blah, blah, blah. Come to find out, it was one of the soap opera stars of the soap opera that Peaches watches. So she runs up to him, pushes people out the way, and she's just like, OMG, it's you, blah, blah, blah. And he's like, the one and only. And so then she said, well, I just got one thing to say. And she cold cocked him, had
Mm-hmm.
that man flying. And all
Going
because of
backwards.
what his character is doing on the soap opera.
Yes, I was like, don't be one of those fans. Oh my god,
Yes, she's most definitely one of those fans.
he's just
And
an
so,
actor.
yes, and I mean, knock that man out. And it was so bad that Shane had to go pick her up and carry her out of there. But yeah, so
I feel like
he
they do that with every movie that Jade is in because she's so tiny.
what pick her up.
At some point, somebody picks her up. Like,
I mean, it's easy to do. It
yeah,
probably still is,
you're probably.
right. She's probably
This is a
put
tiny lady.
yeah, she's probably put on max 10 pounds since then.
Yeah.
And I ain't even
We have to
realize
ask August.
I'm sure he would know. Right? So
Oof.
it was it's so wild that was 30 years ago. Exactly 30 years ago, yeah. So yeah, so we have that scene or whatnot. And shoot, forgot another part.
So,
Lord.
but so Sonny's actually working for the DEA now. So he's
Yes.
no longer part
Yeah,
of he's working for the DEA.
okay.
And
I thought it was a
he
politician.
tells them right. And so
Yeah.
he tells him that this guy they had been looking for who was connected to Sally Richardson named Mendoza, they thought they had probably killed him. Well, he's like, no, he's still alive. Like he
Mhm.
probably got surgery and changed his face, whatever. And I was like, oh man, I remember hearing so much about that, like back in the 90s, like criminals changing their face and all that kind of stuff.
Yeah, yeah. It was a thing that they did harp on.
Mm-hmm.
And yeah, that always stuck out to me watching it, because I always just paid close attention to his face because I'm like, would his face have any changes to it? Like any remnants of a surgery?
Nah, they're not doing all that. I don't
Yeah,
even know. Yeah, like they're, so just hire this guy.
no.
No,
Right,
they're
it's
not
just him. Right. But, I that part always stuck out to me.
doing it. All right, because there was also like Face Off and
Mm-hmm.
everything. Like,
Yep. Yep. So yeah. And then oh, Shane ends up putting two and two together on where Angela is. And so when he does that or whatnot, he sends a bouquet of flowers to her room, to her hotel room. And so so the flowers were delivered by somebody that works at the hotel. And so she takes the flowers and she closes the door, but there's no card on the flowers. So she opens the door back up, and it's Shane. And so he comes in and whatnot, and he's just like, sit down. I had some people that was looking for you, and they're, you know, the jig is up. They're coming to get you. So
mhm.
he calls Sonny, and he lets him know. He lets him know, like, hey, I got her. And so when he did that or whatnot, he ends up sitting down talking to Angela. And he's under the impression that that it's like the government that wants her because she was a witness for the Mendoza case or whatnot. But Sonny gave him the impression that she left before she could be the witness, and they're
Mhm.
trying to
You know,
find her.
like she's
And
still running with Mendoza.
right, right. And so that's not the case. And when she and Shane are talking, she tells him like, your people didn't tell you, like, I've been in witness protection for months. So that's when Shane puts two and two together and he's like, okay, this is a setup. This is Mendoza that wants you. So while they're on their way to come get her, they end up leaving. And so what they did was they ran into a a couple that was getting off the elevator that they both had on wigs. And they took the
Ran into a
wigs.
whore and a John.
Yeah,
Yeah. I was trying to be nice.
Yeah,
But
you were.
sex worker. Sex. They ran into a sex worker and her client.
Yep, it
right,
says
right.
right.
Yeah, he it was so funny because she was like, well, you asked for a blonde. I am blonde.
Yeah, she was wearing the cheapest blonde wig you could possibly find.
Right, right. And he was wearing a wig as well, or a toupee. And
Because I
so
guess he didn't want to be spotted.
yeah, I was just thinking because he really is bald too. So
It could
yeah,
be that.
yeah. So they get off the elevator and Angela and Shane stick them up for, their clothes and their hair, tie them up and put them in the elevator. And so when Shane and Angela finally get off the elevator, the people that's coming to get her are right there at the elevator, but they can't tell who they are because they are lip locked with the wigs and clothes on while they're walking out of the elevator. And then the other elevator opens up and it's the prostitute and the John, and they're tied up going, help. So, so yeah, so they put two and two together and they like, oh shit, that was them. So they start to run after them and whatnot. But by this time, they got into a Jeep and they have taken off. And so with them taking off, now it's a chase. And the chase is they ended up losing them or whatever. So yeah. Um
Yeah, they actually steal like one of the guys, van, oh, not van, um,
Jeep.
Gee.
Jeep, and they're going through the street and just like shooting all over or whatever, just like the
Hmm.
worst gun
Yeah.
you've ever seen. Like the way you're
Yeah.
holding it, not even like I just. And
Right.
then Shame always has two guns.
Yeah. Yeah. You're not gonna catch him without two guns. This is true. And yeah, and when they're chasing him, they took somebody's taxi. So they're chasing him in a taxi.
Mhm.
But the way that they ended up losing him was that ended up they ended up in a dead end.
Well,
And so
no, it's like they ended up in dead, but somehow the car got flipped over.
yeah, so what happened was that they ended up in a dead end and the taxi was behind them. So with the Jeep, they turned the Jeep around and they drove over the taxi. And when they drove over the taxi, they turned around and then, or not turned around, but they backed up and they backed up the taxi off of the cliff. And it fell down the cliff onto a drive-through, right where you about to order your food.
Yeah.
And
And
she
the
was
lady
like,
was like,
"Thank you,
hello.
butter." Right? So yeah.
You
Um,
want the 5 for 5? We have a special. Hello.
right.
Like,
So yeah. So yeah, so we had that scene, so they ended up losing him there. And then he takes her to Peach's house. Now there was a scene that I did forget before, but there was a scene that's when we got introduced to Wayman. And yeah, Shane had to stay at Peach's house one night.
yeah.
And Peaches is sweet on him. And he is not really feeling her like that.
No.
He says that she's too young and they don't have anything in common.
Yeah.
And
And she
they,
says like they met when she was 16 and she's
Yeah.
mhm.
23 now. And so I got curious and was like looking up their ages and everything. So like she is actually 23. Jada is at this time. And then he's actually 36.
Oh, okay. Yeah, so he was right to not fool with her because that's just too young.
Yeah.
So yeah.
16 and 29, like, no, that's very,
Mhm.
not only is it very illegal, like,
Right. He didn't want no parts of her. But yeah, she was sweet on him. And they have a back and forth that just proved his point on why they shouldn't date.
yeah. He was like, we don't have anything in common. And she's
Yeah.
like, we have boxing in common. And then they get into like this little tiff about who's better, Muhammad Ali or Mike Tyson.
Hmm. Yeah, and she's not a Muhammad Ali fan.
No, she's like, he's dancing around the ring so much. I think I'm watching, I can't remember something. Soul Train, I think it was.
Yeah, an episode of Soul Train.
And I
So
was like, but that's part of the art.
yeah, right. That's technique. But
Yes. Strategy,
yeah,
skill.
right.
Immature young lady would not understand that, and that's why we can't um, go into
You
the.
can't date.
Yeah, we can't date. We can't get into a relationship because you don't know shit, little girl.
Right. So yeah, so she ends up saying that he can stay the night and he can stay in her roommate's room. And so he was like, so your roommate is not gonna be upset that a strange man is in her bed. And she said the last thing girlfriend is gonna be is upset. So fast forward to the morning and they are hugged up. Shane and the roommate are hugged up in the bed. And he's like, oh, well, I didn't know if Peaches let you know that I was going to be in here, but you're not mad that a man was in your bed? And Wayman was like, why no? And that's when he put his head up. And Shane got a good look to see who it was that he was hugged up with. And it was Wayman. And he was completely freaked out. He
He
pulled
two
guns on
guns.
her.
Two guns. Always two guns.
Right. And Wayman
Why are
was
you
like,
sleeping with two guns? I don't
uh, why are you hugged up with a strange person you ain't even see their
Anyway,
face?
right.
Right.
First of all, Peaches shouldn't have lied. Secondly, why are
Well,
you all
Peaches
hugged up
never
on the
lied.
stranger? Well,
Peaches never
Peaches
lied.
was not being honest.
Yeah,
Yeah.
well,
Right.
girlfriend is an expression. I'm with her.
Yes, but when he said her,
Well, yeah, yeah,
yeah,
she should have been forthcoming.
yeah.
That her was just a figure of speech. So yeah. So they so they have this scene, which I remember seeing this scene in the theater. When I tell you the whole theater erupted, it was hilarious. So so yeah, so after this scene, they have this scene where they're eating breakfast or whatever. And
Wayman's cooking him
Wayman,
breakfast.
yeah, Wayman is cooking breakfast and um he offers him some sausage.
Some sausage. Now, now
Was
listen,
he asked him what he was cooking. He said sausage.
Right.
that's what I was about to say. That nigga, Wayman, as soft as his voice is, his voice got a little stern when he was like sausage. He pulled out, he pulled out them two dildos in the pan. Like who, who makes sausages that big? like,
It's gonna take forever.
Right.
Jesus Christ.
Um,
They not eating until 2 in the afternoon. Like, this nigga Wayne.
yeah, like cut these in half. What is happening?
Like,
I
what
would
we
like to
doing
eat today.
Oh my god, that shit was so funny.
Like, where do you buy that shit, Wayman?
Straight from
Where
the
you
butcher,
buy
I guess,
2 foot long fucking sausage?
for breakfast.
Right. Oh my gosh. But they look good though. I ain't even gonna front. They look good.
And they said women can burn, so
Right. Right. And he was just like, nope, I'm good. So he ate toast. And so so P just told him like you don't know what you missing because he can burn, and he was just like I'm good with my toast.
He made a joke about Wayman's hair, and Wayman was like, "Oh, peaches!" Like,
Right.
right.
Miss
Get your
Peaches.
man.
Right.
Because you
So,
up here in my bed eating my food, and now you want to talk about my hair? Please get your
yeah,
man.
like
okay.
enough is enough.
Right. Right.
But then Wayman asked Peaches to get a relaxer. I was like, with that on your, it's gonna fall straight out. Please
Yeah.
don't do that.
Right. So
And I was like, I've never seen this actor before. Like everybody in here is somebody you've seen before or later anyway. And I was like, I've never seen this person before. So I like looked them up. And so that was played by Corin Anthony Hawkins, who was like a female impersonator in Texas and everything, and like won awards for like being best entertainer and something else. I can't remember the name of the title, but like was coming up and like did a Def Comedy Jam set and everything. And
on Def Comedy Jam.
Yeah. And then died a week later from complications of pneumonia and AIDS.
That's wild.
Yeah. And the movie didn't come out until like 3 months after they had passed.
Yeah, that's wild. I knew he had died. I know he died years ago from AIDS and whatnot. But it went into that TikTok video that you shared that that I knew that, or that I found out that he was on Def Comedy Jam. And when I saw that clip of Def Comedy Jam, I was like, oh, I remember her. You know what I'm saying? Because he did it in drag. So
yeah.
Oh, but yeah, I didn't know that he didn't see the movie though.
Yeah.
That's wild. I thought he died like after the movie came out. But yeah, that's wild. But rest in peace. Because for this to be his first movie, it's an iconic role.
Yes.
Yeah.
Really charming, bright personality, real funny. Like
he
definitely like, oh yeah.
Really did. Yeah, he really did steal the show every time he was on scene. you know. So like that was dope.
The
But
industry killed him back then because back then they didn't want to make gay people popular.
you think so?
That's just me throwing it out there. But I'm like, dang, he died a week. He didn't even get to see the movie. Like,
Mhm.
yeah, and he's been living with AIDS, like, so he knew how to take care of himself. But because he was in good health in the movie, or he was playing it off very well.
Right. And then like because he died a week after his Def Comedy Jam performance. So in the Def Comedy Jam performance, he looked fine.
Yeah, he looked fine, but you
Right.
never always know. And then also, in the 90s, like care for people who had AIDS was non-existent.
Yeah.
Really.
Yeah.
People still didn't want to touch you or use your things you may have touched, or like the stigma was extreme.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah. It just sucks. But rest in peace to him. But have you ever seen those gifs of him before?
I hadn't.
Really?
No.
Yeah.
And if I had, I would not have recognized where it was from or who it was.
Yeah.
But so I don't recall seeing them.
Okay. Yeah. Those they don't get used too often, but yeah, you'll see those gifts every now and again.
Yeah. When I looked up like gifts for it,
Mm-hmm.
because a couple of his were like some of the first to pop up.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. So so yeah, there is a National Enquirer-esque paper that Peaches is reading. And so Shane talks to her about that, like, why do you read this crap or whatever? And so Peaches tells him that it has some good stuff in there. Like one of the things that it has in there is that when you see Rottweilers, you sing James Brown so that they don't bite you. Sounds crazy,
I
right?
missed that. How did I?
Yeah.
I heard him like reading the headlines and everything, but I
Mm-hmm.
totally missed the Rottweiler James Brown thing. I probably just
Yeah.
was like, what? And I just
Right. Yeah, I saw that you tweeted like, where did he get this from? But yeah, that's where he got it from. Was from that scene. So so that was that scene. And of course when they leave, that's when Peaches is like, can you get me some can you give me a relaxer, girl? So yeah.
And I was like, don't do it, Peaches. Ask me how I know. And how do I know, Lindsay? Lindsay knows how I know.
Yeah. Sorry.
It's not your fault. It's not your fault, really, honestly. None of us knew. Like,
no.
It's like our LeeLee, you don't know this, but like our other roommate, Rachel, in college, she had like this blonde she was doing. I was like, oh, let me do that too. I want to dye my hair. So I did it. It was really cute and everything. People loved it, right? And then, but I had a relaxer at the time and I needed a touch up. So Lindsay had been doing my touch ups. Everything had been going fine. I was like, well, let's go ahead and do this touch up. And we were like, is this permanent color or is this because we just don't know.
And I asked, I was like, had it been 2 weeks? Yeah. I'm like,
it had. But we just didn't know. Lindsay did my touch up and my hair fell out. And what I was able to do, I know. It was the thing is, it was right in the front.
Yeah.
That's where I had that blonde, was right in the front.
Yeah.
And so I just like combed over some more and cut bangs. And nobody knew. Everybody was like, "Oh, it's so cute! You're always changing your hair." I was like, "Yeah,
You got no hair up there."
Yeah, I had to do something,
Right.
We cut the bangs and got a bunch of headbands, like
right.
Damn. So Lindsay, man, you accidentally turned her into Chico Bean for a hot second.
For a few months.
Damn.
Yeah.
Bangs and headbands.
Right. But we thought fast. It worked out.
It did. No, it did.
Yeah, could you imagine if it was on the side? Like,
oh my God. At least I don't know.
Right. But yeah, it did work out. But yeah, we know from experience that You don't want to
You
punish.
don't make stuff. No. Don't do it.
Right. So yeah, so back so yeah, we had to go back to that scene. So fast forward to yeah, so Angela and Shane, they put two and two together and have this big car chase. They lose the people, and now they end up back at Peach's house. And so with them ending up back at Peach's house, they are really starting to put things together. And Shane was like, okay, Angela, you stay here with Peaches while I'll go take care of this. So he goes back home and he has a little scene where he is getting dressed. And now he doesn't look like a bum any longer.
He looks like Shaft.
He does.
Yeah. Yeah. Which I'm sure that's where they got it from.
Oh, 100%.
Yeah. Yeah. So he so he gets together or whatnot, and he puts on clothes very nicely. I will give him that.
Yeah, for a man who's so broke, he looks good. Everything looks good.
That was back when he had money.
Right. Yeah. His previous lifetime.
Right. Then he cut his own hair. So yeah, there you go.
I was glad for that haircut. I'm not gonna lie, because at first it was like, what is going on? Like, there was no fade. It's just hair on top of your head.
There was no rhyme or reason. So yeah, so so he gets ready to go meet the people, in regards to this whole situation. And also Sonny went and met with Mendoza, telling him how all this stuff is messed up and how he's gonna tell all the information that he knows if it comes down to it, and he needs to get this stuff in order. And so
I know everything. I know about what happened here. I'm going to tell everybody. Why are you signing your own death warrant, my guy?
I mean, why did he think that he was bigger than Mendoza?
He was walking to the house surrounded by Mendoza's people, and they immediately disarmed you, and now you're talking all this?
And you were talking stuff when they were taking the gun from you. Like, that's crazy.
Not smart.
No. But he's pissed off because his people lost Shane and Angela, and they walk in all beat up and stuff from the car wreck. But yeah, so he's talking.
Yeah, he's like, your people messed up,
Yep, the shit is all fucked up. So yeah. So yeah, so Mendoza let him get it off his chest, and then he took a knife and he was just like, "You threatening me?"
Right.
And he put the knife up to his throat, and he changed his whole demeanor.
Real quick.
Just simply saying, like, so
I was just making a suggestion.
Right. So, yeah, they got to understand it and straighten it right there. And then Mendoza was just like, yeah, my people did fuck up. And he took the knife and slashed one of his workers.
Which was by far what would be my ticket to resign right then and there. Because nigga, I was protecting you the whole time. Like, if me and three other guys is in here protecting you while these other fools is out there doing that, and you like, yeah, my niggas did fuck up, and turn around and just slice one of these dudes right here. Oh, bro, listen, take me back to Guatemala or wherever the fuck you got me from. I didn't sign up for getting punished for some shit another motherfucker did.
Well, no, he was one of the ones in the car.
He was one of them.
I was about to, okay. Because I was like, nigga, what the...
But still, at that point, I was like, hasn't he been punished enough?
I mean, he had a whole car fall off a cliff.
He was messed up.
Right. So yeah, but he was the one in the passenger seat of the car, of the taxi. So yeah. Yeah, so he slashed the appropriate person. But oh man. But still, I'm doing this for you. I don't care about Angela. Like, this is my
Right.
job. I'm not about to die for my job. No.
I still showed up tonight. I
Right.
should be in the hospital.
I should, but no, I came back here for you,
And then you just cut me.
Straight like that. So yeah, so he's gone. He's a goner. Yeah, so then they so then Shane ends up meeting
Shame is
the other guy.
Yeah, he meets one of his guys.
No, he ends
I
up
don't
getting
remember
the guy with the other guy that was in the taxi. He ends up.
Yeah. Oh, it was the other guy in the taxi. I was like,
yeah.
I don't remember the guy's name.
Yeah. So he ends up getting the other guy in the taxi, and he takes him to a warehouse, and he's like, "Okay, where's Mendoza?" Dude didn't want to tell him, so with a gun to his head, he didn't want to tell him, and he was just like, "Okay, you don't want to tell me? That's fine," and he walks away. So the guy,
he's like, I asked for your help, you said no, so
yeah,
hi.
you said no, so all right. So so the guy leaves or whatnot. So again, they're in a warehouse. He's trying to open up all these doors to leave. He can't. And the one door that he does opens up to a white supremacist neo-Nazi rally.
Yeah.
And he walks, and he's like Hispanic. He walks on stage, and he's like, "Can y'all tell me where the nearest exit is?" In the middle of them chanting white power. So, of course, he doesn't leave unscathed, but he does get out of there. But he's running down the street, and Shane drives up next to him and was just like, so are you going to help me or no? Still not going to help him. So he's just like, all right. He stops the car, and he tells the people, hey, I forgot what he told them, but they started chasing him even more after that.
It was something like, he says he can beat all these white people or something like that.
Yeah, something crazy. So that pissed him off even more. And so he drives off going, Black Power, Black Power.
And I was like, dang, because he's driving a convertible.
Yes.
And I was like, dude, just jump in.
Right.
Yeah.
My whole point. Shane would have pulled up next to me, I'd hop right in that motherfucker. Like,
he was going so slow, I would have just hopped in. He was
up. He was going real slow, and at one point he actually stops. I was like, just get in the car.
Right. You aren't gonna stay. So I'm going with you, So, but yeah, that doesn't happen. The neo-Nazis come and get him. And that's the last time we saw that one. So yeah,
we see him later. We
We do see him later.
Mm-hmm. He's all bandaged up, got a neck brace on and everything, but he still shows up to work.
Yeah. That's right. I forgot about that part. So yeah,
he's like, Mendoza's not gonna slice me.
Okay. I'm still on time.
Right, clocked in.
Okay.
Yeah, like, nigga, at this point, Mendoza's organization, man, y'all got to get insurance plans because, nigga, take a sick, take a goddamn sick day.
Right.
Anybody deserves a day off.
At least a half a day.
Something.
But yeah, so we now have a scene with Angela and Peaches at Angela's apartment, and
they just hate each other for no reason. I hate it.
Yeah. There's never been a legit reason why they didn't like each other. Unless Peaches knew or had an idea on what transpired between the two. But
she knew something was there.
That time she knew, yeah.
No, I'm talking like as far as their demise, or as far as like how she treated him when Angela and Shane were together. You know what I mean?
Oh.
Like Shane could have been talking junk like, oh, she treated me like this. She never cooked for me. She never did my laundry or something like that. And You know what I mean? Like something silly like
I
that.
don't even think it was that. I think she was 23 and she was jealous because this, you know what I'm saying? This was his ex. Like, you know,
Yeah.
period. So
I could see her being jealous, but I was like, why is Angela's got such an attitude?
Right. Angela
like, girl, they trying to keep you alive.
Right.
Angela just played off Peaches being jealous because she needed to get out of there because she wanted to get to the money.
That's what I was thinking. Like she didn't want to stay there.
Mm-hmm.
And she just took it out on Peaches.
Yep. That was her way out because she knew Peaches was going to go off like that.
Mm-hmm. But yeah, so those two, they have their back and forth. Yeah.
She's over here acting like the Jeffersons isn't funny. I was like, girl, please.
Yeah. So they have their back and forth. They almost come to blows. And then Angela was just like, man, I don't want to do this. Like, I'm out of here. And so she leaves. And so Peaches is like, get the fuck out. And then 2 seconds later, she changes her mind because she was just like, you know, Shane is going to kill her. So let me go get her. So as soon as she opened the door, the lieutenant for the LAPD is at the door, who is Shane's former boss.
Mm-hmm.
Excuse me. And he's looking for Shane as well because of this whole situation. And which is so wild.
Especially because he had like taken credit for the whole thing before, right?
Mm-hmm. Yeah. But it's so wild because you would have thought that Angela and him would have crossed paths.
Especially considering she was supposed to be under protection.
Exactly. But hey, whatever. So
what do I know? We just need a movie to happen.
Exactly. So yeah, so Shane ends up coming back to Peach's apartment and he already has an inkling that something's going on, but Peaches is just sitting on the couch eating grapes. And he comes in with a gun with a laser pointer. And he's pointing it all around. And then he turns to where the stairs are and he points it there, and that's where Lieutenant is standing. And so they end up having a conversation about it, about the situation and whatnot. Excuse me. And yeah, so yeah, they inform him about it or whatnot, but I don't think we see him again after that.
Well,
we do.
Can we talk about Peach's whole ass lied right then? Like, just tell the truth. Y'all got into it as she walked out. This motherfucker made up a whole story.
Yeah.
That quick, that's fast. This is why you can't trust little ass girls, man.
Right.
This motherfucker said, I went to get her something to eat and I came back and she was gone. Like, what the fuck?
Why? Why even?
What the fuck was that lie for?
Right.
Just say what happened. There was literally no reason.
No.
That didn't make it better.
No.
No.
Because first of all, I told you not to go nowhere.
And why are you leaving her by herself? If y'all don't order a pizza and call it a day, like, man. What? So yeah.
It's for no reason. It's got to lie for no reason.
No
reason.
None. And it wasn't even a good one. And you had time to come up with a good one.
But you didn't even need to come up with one.
That part.
Motherfucker, she's just been like that her whole life. She had an entanglement with some fast food.
You gonna forever be on Jada head. Oh man,
having an affair with your son's friend is that's some weird stuff. Like, what the hell?
With your son's sick friend.
Yeah.
That's some better decisions.
You know, back to the movie. I digress.
Right.
You know.
So, another movie that is in the realm of that is Menace to Society.
Yeah, it's just, she got a thing. It's we found out a long time ago. Yeah.
But yeah. So moving on. So yeah, after that scene or whatnot, we have them I think he ends up leaving, and Peaches ends up getting a visitor. Sonny comes to visit her and ends up taking her. And so then they let Shane know, because Shane ends up finding Angela, and they start reminiscing and whatnot. And then they start having a makeout session. And so
he finds her in that storage locker.
Yeah.
yeah.
Trying to get that money.
Right. But yeah,
Which
then they
that
end up
whole timeline did not make sense.
yeah, because all this is happening at night.
Yeah.
And it's just like, is this in the winter time? Was this after daylight savings? Like, I don't.
The math wouldn't match because she left out. She left out, and then the detective came, had to wait on him to show up. Then he showed up, had a whole conversation with them, and then had an inkling of where she might go. And then he managed to be there before she was.
Mm-hmm.
Like, did she hoof it? Did she get it on foot? Like, how the fuck
she walked?
Yeah, like
yeah,
it's the only way.
Right. She changed
how the
clothes.
fuck did he manage to just be sitting in there waiting on her?
Right. Remember, she changed clothes. She had on a whole different outfit because she left in a purple dress, and now she got on a pantsuit. Yeah,
you can't go to a storage locker in your skirt. I guess like she had to make a quick fashion stop.
You know, or maybe
going to pick up 20 million of stolen money. You got to make sure that you fit the part. You can't go in there with a cocktail dress on. You got to look like a goddamn. you got to look like you a master robber right now.
Right. In heels, they clickety clack. Yeah. So, right. So
closest thing to Catwoman.
Right. So yeah. So then we have them. We have them having their makeout session at a hotel now, and he gets a call. And
he just forgot about everything else. Like
right.
Forget about Mendoza, the 20 million, whatever's going on with Peaches. No, I'm just gonna be making out right now.
Right, because he didn't went down memory lane, and so yeah, he gets a call, and with the call, it's Sonny, and it's letting him no, it's Mendoza, and Mendoza is letting him know that he has Peaches. And so she's like, I'm all right. I'm on the beach. And so, yeah. After they get off the phone or whatever, because they made a deal to exchange women. And so, at the mall that he owns. And so after he gets off the phone and whatnot, Angela's kind of trying to convince him to not do this transaction.
That was so wild to me. She was like, "You'll get over it." I was like, "What is wrong with you? Why do you hate Peaches so bad?" That's the part where I was like, "Oh no, she actually hates her." Like,
I don't think it was necessarily hate for Peaches as much.
She don't care. Obviously,
selfish.
It was self-preservation. She wants Shane to get her up out of town, and then she was gonna leave Shane in whatever town they was in.
Yeah, she was looking out for numero uno.
Yeah,
and she didn't give a damn what happened to anybody, but she needed to get away. And that's backtracking in a way because you're going towards Mendoza.
Sure.
So so yeah, and Shane tells her no. I'm going to get Peaches. That's my friend.
I just don't understand why she thought that would work.
Because she's Angela, and whatever she's done up to this point has worked with Shane.
Whatever she done with men, period. Like
that's right.
She's been able to, like she said, she's been on her own since she was 12 years old. She's been using everything in her power to get what she wants from men.
Yeah. Yeah. So, um, so yeah. So, like I said, it didn't work, and he comes up with a plan or whatnot to get Peaches back, and so they meet up at the mall, and
It's just such a
Mendoza.
weird place to me to
Yeah.
meet to do anything like after hours at the mall. Okay.
Well, he did say he owned the mall,
I know,
so
but I
it's
guess
his
it's like we need
territory.
this set piece, but it's just like, oh, okay.
Yeah. Right. I mean, it's his territory,
It is
so
his
I
it's
can.
his real estate. But that's the thing.
Yeah.
That's the thing that got me. I was like, so you want like look like just like watching everything previous to this, like every
Mhm.
time y'all get together, there's a shootout. So we're gonna go to your property to have is this like an insurance scheme? Like what are we
Well,
doing?
for a visual standpoint,
It's great from a
it
visual
was it
standpoint.
was great. Right,
Yes.
right. 'Cause it would be better, especially it would be better than if they was like at a dock somewhere because you get the
Yeah,
visuals of all the
100%.
glass and stuff like that
The
breaking.
explosions, you can't do yeah.
Yeah, yeah, and then the elevator, that was a cool scene as well. Um, as far as the story is concerned, it's his territory, so he knows where things are. You know, he can maneuver and whatnot. It's a better way to, like, maneuver and hide and stuff like that. And it's not just your average, we're gonna go to a warehouse and shoot up the warehouse type of scene. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
So, I think it worked. I think it was a cool idea to do it in a mall.
I like it for like the whole visual action aspect. I like that. But
Hmm.
like there are way too many places for people to like be in and go to and things, you know.
Hmm.
But
Yeah,
anyway,
there are on both sides, absolutely.
yeah.
But I feel like he had home field advantage.
He felt better about that.
Yeah, yeah. So, um, yeah. So Mendoza and his crew and Peaches are at the bottom of an elevator, while Shane and
Es- it's
Angela,
Escalator.
Angel escalator,
right,
yeah.
escalator. Sorry. Um, yeah, Shane and Angela are at the top of an escalator, and they do an even exchange because I don't trust.
Same time,
And
same time.
right, same time, man, I don't know you. But yeah. So they supposedly put Angela on an escalator and they put Peaches on the escalator. And while they're going up and down at the same time, Shane says to Peaches, I hope you're right about your aim, because he also put a holster with a gun in it on the escalator that Peaches is on.
Yeah, because Peach has been talking about I've been taking karate and da 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 da. Like
Hmm.
she wants to
Yeah.
see some action. The whole movie, she's like, let me do more than just
Right. Let
you
me get
know
at it.
run
Right. I brought my
errands.
22 and my stun gun. So yeah.
Right.
So um at the top of the escalator, it's pretty dark. So you see this body that's on the escalator going down, which we assume is Angela. But once it gets further down the escalator, us, the viewing public, and Mendoza and his crew, we all start to realize that's not Angela. That's a mannequin with a wig on.
Yeah, there was like a lot of smoke or fog behind her and like a light,
Mhm.
so you couldn't really see the front.
Right.
I thought it was a really cool shot, actually.
It was.
Yeah,
It was. It was. And the first time viewing it will definitely fool you. Yeah.
yeah,
So,
100%. Because
um.
I was thinking like she is real still. Like
Yeah.
that was about it.
Right. Right. So they go down. So she goes down. Once the light starts to hit her and whatnot, that's when they realize, hey, this is a mannequin. So that by that time, that's when Peaches got the gun, and so she takes it out of the holster and they start shooting. And Peaches is still on the escalator going up while she's shooting and whatnot. And so when she gets close to the top, she gets off the escalator. And then we have this whole scene with the shootout through the mall and whatnot. And the shootout, it's like we just talked about, it was a very cool scene.
Yeah.
Um,
Yeah, the he gets this there's some officers there, I guess. Some security guards. Really, that's what
mhm.
it is. And one of them's like, I'm in front of the sports chalet. I was like, excuse me?
Yeah, they really tried to I guess they was loading up their resume because one cop had no business fucking army crawling through this goddamn sports.
With the gun. I was like, okay.
Nigga just get to all fours like, what the fuck are you doing, my nigga?
Right. It was a mess. It was a mess. But yeah. So they end up having this scene or whatnot, and it ends when Shane does capture Mendoza. And so when Shane captures
Mendoza, talk about the scene though in the sports chalet. Yeah. Where he gets the bungee cord, which is $500.
Yes.
And then he's like, because the cops go in there, the dude's army crawling, and this other guy's like crossing, like going through the aisles looking for him, and they're like, don't shoot, there's a lot of explosives in here, which was great for Shane to learn because he was about to shoot. And he was like right over some gasoline cans.
Right.
So he gets the bungee cord and the knife, and he like cuts open the gasoline cans, and he turns on, I guess, some other gas that was there. And petrol, I think, like something. And so he gets some tennis balls, and he lights the tennis balls on fire. And I'm getting really because I'm like, oh, is it the air pressure? But anyway, they like shoot out like fireballs. And like, of course, it makes the whole store explode.
Yeah.
And he uses the bungee cord to jump over the railing. Yeah.
It was a really cool scene, and he was definitely on his MacGyver with that shit.
Yeah, 100%.
Yeah,
I like that part.
Yeah. It was a really cool scene. But yeah. So they end up ending with him being captured, and with him being captured, he put the handcuffs on him and whatnot, and he was talking his shit or whatever, but he was captured. So then next thing you know, we hear a single shot, and it's
I'm gonna stop you before even that part.
Okay.
While they was doing the shootout, I think Angela was trying to get away with the money, and that's when Sonny ran up on her.
Oh yeah.
You know what I'm saying? And now Sonny's got the opportunity to pop her then and there, take the money, get up out of there. No harm, no foul, no nobody. You know what I'm saying? I'll figure it out in the long run because the gig is up. But I'm $20 million rich. I can go somewhere where I can't be extradited. What he chooses to do is sit there, look at this bitch, and say, "What do you have this makes men so enticed over you?" Like, why do we have to go through this dialogue, man? Shoot this bitch and let's go.
Right.
About that later.
And then the crazy part about that is she automatically knew right then and there, boom, I got you. Oh, sucker for love. Probably don't get a lot of pussy for your wife ass nigga. This is what I'm gonna do. I'm gonna start taking my shirt off. You know what I'm saying? And distract you. Like as soon as she would have took her shirt off, I'd have shot her twice in the titty. But I know what I'm saying. That's just me.
Like I said, he got titmatized.
Yeah. He talking about
that's what he did.
It's a tempting offer, but you were poor. All this extra talking, you should have popped.
Then why did you do all this?
And she even said it. She even had to tell him, like, "Look at you stupid motherfucker. You could have got some pussy." Like, like, what the fuck are you doing?
Right. Like that was crazy. That was crazy because it was like, it's something about her. It's something about Angela. Why would you even want any parts of that? Especially now.
None.
Yeah.
Like the money is right there. That's been your goal the whole time. Like the whole thing was, like he was gonna have a take from Mendoza, split it in the department and everything. And everybody was like, yeah, I'll do it if Shame does it. And Shame didn't want to do it.
Right.
So take the money, take the 20 million, get up out of here.
Get out.
Yeah. He would have been gone when nobody even know nothing.
Nah, all this going on, man. Wasn't nobody paying attention to Sonny.
Yeah.
Sonny would have been in Kansas City by the time, they figured out where the fuck the money ain't here.
Right. Right. Yeah, it was crazy. It was crazy. But yeah. Huh. Yeah. So yeah, Mendoza gets a single shot to the head, and we find out it's Angela that shot him. And she was just like, yeah, I can't do it. I need to make sure that he's dead for real this time.
She,
So
she hit him with the "I ain't going back to the strip club" shot.
yeah, she did. Yeah, she did. And so, the police came or whatever, and
Well, there were the dogs.
oh, right. So yeah, through this whole melee, there were some dogs that got unleashed on Shane. And so Shane was running from him because he doesn't like dogs. And so so while he was running from him, he ended up running into a dead end, and then he remembered what Peaches said about singing James Brown. So he sung James Brown to the Rottweilers, and it worked.
Wild.
And so
Just three very good boys who love music. That's all.
Yes, that's all it is. But I mean, shoot, James Brown has good music, so I understand.
Fast forward, people, do not do that in real life. You're gonna get a whole chunk of your ass ripped out. James Brown's gonna save you from 3 Rottweilers.
No.
I was 10 when I watched it for the first time, but I honestly did think that worked.
Yeah,
I thought that was.
You gonna be?
I didn't try it.
Get on the scene, and then all of a sudden, fuck's gonna be on your ass.
Right.
Especially, and that's when the dude he had left with the white supremacist group shows up again, because he's the one who's like calling for the dogs, whatever. And like when he's seeing James Brown and them, and they're just like jamming, I guess. Mm-hmm. And he's like, attack. Like, what are you doing?
But then they turn on him, and he's like, $1 Miller.
Well, because he had dumped, Shame had dumped a bunch of food on him, including a bunch of meat, and so the dogs were like, "Ooh, let's eat." Right. And then he starts trying to go and Guantanamo. This movie has a lot of good music.
But yeah, it does. The soundtrack was awesome. The soundtrack was definitely awesome. But yeah, he started going $1 Miller.
Yeah, he didn't know the power of James Brown. He just thought it was song.
Right. Has James Brown done a Guantanamo remix? Because that'd be great.
Okay, that would have been awesome. But yeah, it didn't work, and so yeah, poor guy. But yeah, like the police come, and take Angela away, and now Shane and Peaches are like trying to help each other with their wounds and stuff. And they end up having a kiss.
Gross.
Yeah.
I don't like them together.
I wasn't a fan.
Yeah.
But I wasn't disgusted, but I wasn't a fan. Yeah.
And the lieutenant comes back and he's like, you're getting credit for all of this.
Yeah.
And he was like, oh, I'm getting credit for all of this. So I got the drug dealer. I got the 15 million. I did this. And Lieutenant's like, never mind, get out of here.
Right. So he let him take the credit yet again. So.
And that's when Peaches was like, 15. I thought it was 20. And he was like, well, with my fee and that fee and da-da-da. And then she goes, with my fee, he's like, a $4.45 an hour. I said, excuse me?
Mm-hmm.
This is 1994. That's minimum wage, baby.
That was minimum wage.
I know it's minimum wage for 1994, but like, girl, like, what? This is what he's been paying her?
That's the crazy part, because that was minimum wage that she was making, and she lent him money.
Wild.
And they were living in LA.
And he's like, well, it comes to perks and benefits. No, sir. Perks and benefits don't pay the bills. Let me see me out here with a roommate, please.
Right. I need my money. So.
Shane tripping, because I would have been like, it would have been a minuscule amount of money that the detective would have the lieutenant would have walked away with. I'd have been like, so I call Mendoza.
Well, no, you can't make it minuscule, because then they'll get suspicious.
No, I'm telling you, I would have been like, so I called Mendoza, I called a dirty DA agent, and it is $7 million of dope money in here.
Right. Right. It would have been millions, but
yeah.
it wouldn't have been 15.
Yeah.
Like, yeah, it was a cool 6.5 in this bitch.
Right.
You better hurry up and get this $5.3 million.
Right.
Nah, I'm gonna keep it at 10 because they're gonna be like, how is it this low? Right. They
Right,
probably
I
have
was
an idea and
He
everything.
had to pay all them people that I killed. So do you want this $3 million or what?
Right.
The more and more we talking, the smaller this amount about to be.
It keeps getting smaller.
Right.
If you don't hurry up and get this bag of
$3
weed,
million.
$6.
Listen, I got a bag of Doritos and 50 cents. Do you want it?
Right.
Just saying. I'm trying to give you. I'm trying to give it to you right now, man. Listen, I got 2 Snickers and I got a bag of Funyuns with everybody's prints on them right now.
Just going around afterwards, everybody's fingerprints on this bag of Funyuns.
Right.
Gotta make this
right.
work.
They shared the one bag.
Yeah, we are not. Hey, man, you better don't. You better quit arguing with me.
I'm retiring.
Yeah.
Right. Right. I see y'all in Costa Rica. I'm gone.
Yeah, I don't know what you're talking about, man.
I'm headed to
Right.
Cuba. Bye.
Right. But yeah, that. So that was Lowdown Dirty Shame. So Maria, being that this is your first time viewing, how did you feel watching?
I thought it was really funny. I liked also like how cool they were trying to make him, kind of like a humorous Shaft, right?
Mm-hmm.
And I was like, oh man, we could have done with like a series of these. I think I feel like they would have gotten better with each movie and with more weigh-ins, right? Because we had Kim in here as well. I love Kim. I feel like she never gets enough.
I agree. She doesn't.
Yeah. But I enjoyed it a lot. And also I liked Peach's character a lot. I feel like there was a lot to her. And there was a lot that could have been done more with her too, right?
Yeah.
Like I'd be interested to see more from that character.
Yeah.
Basically.
Yeah. I think you're on to something. Like it could have most definitely been a series. And if Wayman was still alive, he would have stole the scene. He all he had to do was just play 2 scenes per episode. And it would have been amazing,
I would have loved like a Wayman and Peaches like half-hour comedy, like
yeah,
wacky adventures they'd probably get into. Because there was this one point where Shame had gone to Mendoza's club to talk to him basically. And they start shooting and Wayman comes through like, what's going on? I'm like, what are you doing?
Right.
What a way.
They're like,
hey Shane, this is not the time.
Right.
Do you see what we doing right now, nigga?
Crazy part about that scene because they started shooting and there were still people on the dance floor like.
I was like, what kind of club is this? Because it looks like there's a lady who's like dancing like she's gonna be a stripper, but then it's also kind of like a lounge vibe. I was like, what is happening?
Yeah, it was weird.
I guess it's the VIP section.
I don't know, but I was just like, this is a bit weird. This is a bit weird.
Hey, Shame. Right. And then Mendoza comes
and then
there a
gay section too. Like it was
I guess that was just like the corner where all the gays were hanging out.
Right.
Like, I don't know what's going on. What club? What kind of club is this?
Right.
All inclusive.
Club, I was about to say club all inclusive, baby.
Club everything. Right.
This is what we got.
Right.
We got gays, we got strippers, we got drug dealers, we got
what you want?
Got a lounge area for your grandma. What y'all need? $10 an adult, nigga.
Right.
They called it like the Isle of Salsa or Salsa Island, basically, in Spanish. I can't remember how they said it, but like I was like, why is that the name of your? Okay, fine, but like there's no salsa dancing happening. So what are we?
Right. It was techno. Like I was like, okay. Like it was a
But
lot
yeah, he's like,
Even
hey,
speaking of
Shane,
that scene,
and
even speaking of that scene, one thing that threw me off when I was watching it was like the song that was playing when he first walked in the club. I when I heard it, I remembered the song and I was like, dang, that song came out in '94. And I'm like, you know what? A lot of old people better stop talking about how young music is sexualized because
oh please.
like Nick in 1994, this lady had a song called "Don't Want No Short," and that shit was
Don't want
bumping
to,
in that
yeah,
club.
it was.
Yeah.
I was like, oh,
we was singing
and
that.
I was listening to it, and I was like, I've heard this song before, but I don't remember. Like, I don't know what it was about the one that I was watching, but it was just Short Man. Period. I
Oh
was
Like,
like,
no.
that's not how that song goes.
It was eeny weeny, teeny weeny, shriveled little short
Short,
dick man.
right? But they just kept the D part out of it for some reason.
Yeah,
But
they
like,
said
even
short man.
I was like, well, okay, but
Yeah.
but even before that, LeeLee, I don't know if you ever heard about "Shave 'Em Dry" by Ma Rainey.
yeah.
Okay, you want to talk about some nasty music? Lucille Bogan did it too.
That's
Mm.
yeah.
Yeah.
I shave them dry is like disrespectful.
Wait.
Go to
Shave,
YouTube and look up reactions to "Shave 'Em Dry."
shave, like
Shave 'em dry.
SAABE.
Shave like you shaving your face.
Yeah.
Huh.
Look up the lyrics. Trust me. Your
Shave.
grandma was real.
Lord, okay. Yeah.
Hey, she
I don't
that
want to
that
hear
that
about anybody talking about any kind of nasty music today. Shave 'em dry.
yeah. That song starts off crazy.
Okay, yeah, I'm gonna have to watch these. It's quite a few of them on here.
Oh, they're hilarious.
Yeah.
Yeah, so yeah, you like anybody past 50 got to stop talking about music is over sexualized now because
Nah.
um. Mm-mm. And then they had the other song on that soundtrack, that "Down for Whatever" song. What you think? Whatever talking about?
yeah.
However do you want it? Nothing. I just down for whatever. I'm down for whatever. You down for whatever? So yeah, yeah. Music throughout the years has been very sexualized. Um, that's why it's so wild that like people do have a problem with music now, and it's like it's nothing new.
It's
Right.
nothing new. And then also
Yeah.
you can always just listen to something else.
Yeah. Right.
That part.
Yeah. Yeah. But people gonna have their opinions, so whatever.
Oh,
But
always.
right. But yeah, so yeah. But I mean, I'm in agreement. Like I can definitely see this. Like they should have capitalized on this and made it a series.
Yeah, I could totally see like more movies coming out, with the same kind of character. Like I feel like, especially at the time, that would have been so just like perfect at the time to me.
Yeah.
Because you have Independence Day coming out like 2 years later.
Right.
Bond movies are still coming out. Like they really
Still
could
to
have made
this
this
day.
happen. I feel like, yeah.
Yeah. So let's see.
So can you tell me why you recommended this movie, Lindsay?
I recommended this movie because I remember going to the movies, going to see this movie, and it was such a good movie, and I watched it quite often throughout the years, and it was one of the top tier Wayans movies that they have that doesn't get that much recognition.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? It's not easily available. I even have it on DVD, but it's not easily available to watch. Like you don't really see too many people talking about it or anything like that. So I was just like,
Yeah.
this is one of my favorite Wayans movies.
Yeah.
You know?
And was it on Rotten Tomatoes? It has like a 4% rating. Right?
Which is so wild.
Yeah.
It's so wild.
The website critic consensus reads a trifecta of failure for writer director Keenan Ivory Wayans. I just don't think that's accurate.
Nah,
Yeah.
that was actually it was better than what they expected it to be.
Yeah,
Mm-hmm.
I mean, for a first time writer and director, I think this is pretty good actually. I mean, there's definitely things that can be improved, but it's your first time. Like,
Mm-hmm.
and it also got ranked like on some of the worst movie lists, and I was like, that's not no. Mm-mm.
And it's like, why? But
Because I mean, honestly, for me, like, I would say there's a certain point, well, probably right up until I started reviewing movies, like there was just such a very stark divide in what movie critics, who were typically white men, would
mm-hmm.
talk about films and review films in ways that show they were clearly not culturally competent in who the audience for this movie was supposed to be.
Mm-hmm.
And they did not even question that.
Right. It wasn't a thought. It wasn't a
Right.
thought. And that's what I was about to say. Like, it probably was a bunch of white men that don't have an idea of what black cinema is about and don't care and
Right.
just
Or
and uh critiqued it.
where
Or
things are coming from. Certain things might appeal to different audiences. Or even just like, oh, this isn't for me, but I can see how it might be for somebody else.
mm-hmm.
Like that kind of thing just doesn't
Right.
even register.
Right. Or just, you know, even if this ain't your fave, even if this ain't even on a list of things that you want to watch again, you can just appreciate the fact that it's a black movie that is thinking outside the box when it comes to black cinema.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
You know what I
It's
mean?
a funny action, like comedy kind of thing.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
It
and
has real characters, like meaty characters, like,
Mm-hmm.
but okay.
Yeah. It's entertaining from beginning to end.
Definitely.
it was basically almost 100% cast of black and brown people, which in
Yeah.
1994, unless a white man produced it, they didn't want, and you were depicting us in a negative way. They didn't give it highlights like that.
Right.
Also, it does not depict cops in a positive way, which I always love. So,
Yeah.
Because, I mean, we all know cops ain't shit. Some of them.
Yeah.
most of them. That's why the only good cop is an ex-cop.
Mm-hmm.
And I really think that's why they made him an ex-cop, because they did
Yeah.
not want him to be a cop.
Yeah. Right. Like he wouldn't be able to do a lot of the shit that he was doing and get away with it.
Yeah.
Oh. Well, he probably would, actually.
Well, yeah, but yeah. So, but yeah, but yeah, like I said, like it was one of my favorite Wayne's movies. Top tier. It's like it's up there with Scary Movie, the original Scary Movie.
Yeah, the original Scary Movie is classic for sure.
Yeah. So, but yeah.
What about white chicks though?
You know, I'm in the minority on white chicks.
Mm.
Like it's cool. It ain't like slap my knee funny.
Mm-hmm.
And I can live without it.
No.
White Chicks was good, but
White Chicks was good, but it's not the same as
Blank Man. Oh,
Blank Man is good. Blank Man is good.
Yeah, Jasmine said Blank Man. Hey, I have to agree. Blank Man was top tier.
Yeah, Blank Man is good. And it does the same thing that I just spoke to about that Low Down Dirty Shame does, because that for real was the first. Was it? It was no Meteor Man.
Meteor Man, yeah.
Meteor Man was the first superhero, so that was the second one.
Now,
yeah,
Meteor Man was totally blackballed because that was actually a good movie, and it should have been way more.
They always did Pete Townsend pretty dirty.
Yeah. Yeah. You know what movie we have to do on this show? Is Hollywood Shuffle.
Yeah, it's a classic.
Yeah. Yeah. We're gonna
This
have
show
to.
was pretty good.
Yeah.
And that was also written by Keenan Ivory Wayans.
Yeah. Keenan and Robert.
Mm-hmm.
You know. So yeah, we would have to revisit that one. Because I mean, and that's the crazy part about it, because they're talking about things in the 80s that really ain't too much change now in 2024.
Mm-hmm.
And that's the unfortunate part about it, you know. So yeah.
LeeLee, what's your connection with this movie?
Uh, my connection, I don't really have too much of a connection with the movie. It was just it was one of the movies that came out when I was a kid. I was a Keenan Ivory Wayans fan, just because of I'm Gonna Get You Sucker and like Hollywood Shuffle, things of that nature, and Living Color, you know. So I thought it was really dope. It was really dope for me to see him in a him and Damon to try to transition from being comedians to actually being action stars, because they went on a run where they were in action movies. I thought that was pretty dope. Um, star I think the casting was great for the movie. Like I said, for it to be black and brown cast, that was really dope to see uh Tupac's stalker crush perform the way she did. She did an excellent job. Um, you know, she, she didn't mention him not one time, nor did she talk about alopecia. That was dope.
She didn't have it then. Oh
You
my
know,
goodness.
And he was still alive, so you know, she barely
Right.
talked
that
about
was
him when he
dope.
was
She was just
alive.
watching him from afar. That was all right. I'm pretty sure she suggested. I'm pretty sure she suggested that Keenan Ivory Wayans shave his head, if they were going to continue making that movie. But I think
Honestly, that was for the best, because the haircut he had previously was not working for him, and he's kept it bald ever since. So
you know, she did. It shows even then she was trying to make her a Pac. She just
oh
wanted to
my
make her as more
god.
I really do think all jokes aside, I think it's a really slept on movie because it's really good actually.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like I said, like you guys said, I mean, it could be things that could have been better, but you got to think him is doing it by himself. He probably didn't have a lot of backing, and so everything had to be pulled out of basically his ass, and he actually pulled it off.
Yeah. Right. He pulled it off very well. I must say. You know, he has some good actors, you know, in there, you know, so they
I mean, in
definitely
fact, we still know these actors' names and like their projects they done afterwards, and
Yeah.
you know, their level of skill and things like that. Like he picked a really good roster to like be in this movie for sure.
He definitely did. He definitely did. Yeah, I'm all here for a low down dirty shame. Like it doesn't get talked about as it should. So yeah, I would say like it's up there with Scary Movie. It's up there with I'm Gonna Get You Sucker. You know, those are top tier.
A little combo of the two.
Yeah, I think Jada Pinkett Smith, Alcina Shakur should try to see if she can at least make a series out of that. It would, you know what I'm saying, talk back to Keenan and see if they could, you know, bring it back. I think, you know, it would be a dope series.
So if they were to make a series in 2024, would you want them to be in it, or would you want them to recast, do a whole new cast, or would you want?
I would want them to recast.
Yeah, I would think so too, because I would want to keep them around the same age.
Yeah,
I would like to see them do it as themselves, because you don't really get to see older people doing that kind of stuff. So I think that would be fun.
Man,
Unless you're Denzel
Denzel
Washington.
been kicking ass
Unless you're Denzel Washington. This is literally what I'm saying.
Right.
But like it's still not really like often, especially not with women or black women, to like get that old man action movie kind of thing. And I would just like to see it. Just something a little different, a little fresh, right? But even if they like just did a little bit every now and then, but they had a younger crew with them, would be better.
I mean,
they're kind of more like in a leadership position.
Yeah, because after
like
they took that
crew.
$5 million, it could be a whole PI organization that they got.
Right.
Yeah, I see that.
Okay, so you would, I mean, it would pretty much essentially be a new cast, but with them there.
Thumbs down, Lindsay.
I didn't do that.
I don't know how did that happen?
I don't know. I've been seeing that on here and on other things as well. So I don't know how that happened.
Like, yeah, who the fuck put the dump? Okay.
Yeah. I guess they didn't like the recast option. I don't know.
Right.
Yeah.
Right. StreamYard said no thanks.
Yeah. Like move on. All right. So
rating system.
Yes, our rating system. Let me pull it up. So we have our movie rating system where we have 1 movie real trash AF, 2 it exists, 3 entertaining, 4 great, 5 a true classic. So Maria, what say you?
I'm gonna give it like a 3.5.
Okay.
Mm-hmm. I feel like it's just on the edge. Now, if I add the soundtrack in with the movie, I'm giving it a 4.
Solid. Yeah, the soundtrack is amazing.
Yeah.
LeeLee, what say you?
I give it 3. I give it 3. It was very entertaining. I do believe that if more people watch it, it will become a cult classic.
Yeah, I can see that.
But yeah, I'll give it that. With the soundtrack, if we include the soundtrack, I would give it like a 3.7.
Okay.
And Lindsay, what do you say?
I say 4. It's great. I love it. I've been loving it since I was 10. So yeah. And then if you add the soundtrack, 4.5.
All right.
Yeah. All right. So that is our ratings. So Maria, what are we doing next week?
We're doing the very legendary, very awarded, very pop culturally like impactful series of films that Lindsay has never seen. Very shocking to me. Lord of the Rings.
Ooh.
Yeah, I missed that.
I can't lie. I've seen all of the Lord of the Rings in segments. I've never seen them like just flat out.
Oh no, we're not doing the whole 9 hours. We're just doing the first movie. And then we'll go through it. But yeah.
No, it's like Pete. Like I've seen the first one. I've seen like pieces of the first one, pieces of the second one, pieces of the third one. I've never seen them all together.
You should definitely see them all together. They definitely get better as each film goes on.
Mm-hmm. How close are they to the book? How close are they to the book?
I do not know. I tried to read The Hobbit when I was in high school. Mm-hmm. And I was very like voracious reader in high school, right? Like I was on my dad had told me he would buy me as many books as I could read, and then he put me on a budget. I was at the bookstore. But like J.R.R. Tolkien's writing style is a little too much for me. Like he really likes to go on long descriptors of like things that aren't essential to the plot. Mm-hmm. And so that was frustrating for me. So I couldn't finish it. But the movies are really fantastic.
Okay. Cool. Well, LeeLee, as always, we want to thank you for hopping on with us to review. And what are your socials and what are you doing?
Where can we find you, LeeLee?
Yeah.
You can find me on Twitter or X at BBlaze82. You can find me on Instagram, same name, no gimmicks, Troy Hughes, and Facebook.
Yeah.
That's it.
Are you on any other podcasts, LeeLee?
You can catch me always on the It's the We Talk. I'm sorry. I'm shameless. I forgot the shameless plug us. Yes, you can always catch me and Lindsay on the It's the We Talk podcast. And that's when we talk about everything from politics to why would you think it was cool to suck your son's best friend's dick? We express our opinions about things. I do mostly express my opinion about things, and I get the ball rolling.
Yep.
Where can they find you, Lindsay?
I am everywhere at L_Ranelle. That's L_RANELLE. And like LeeLee said, on the Ish We Talk. Yes, we talk a lot of ish. So,
And
Maria.
I'm almost everywhere. And if I'm there, you're going to find me at Valor More Dollars. That's VALARMOR dollars. I also have a podcast with 6 other Black ladies where we talk about nerdy, geeky tech stuff called Nerdgasm Noir. We also have Smut Book Club there too as well if you're into that. So you can check us out there. And yeah, do that. Join us. Have fun.
Smut Book Club.
Smut Book Club. Mm-hmm. My episode.
So are those novels, those racy novels that you would buy at the grocery store?
Novels.
Yeah. Like
well, it's mostly
Is that her name? That the author that used to do? No, Danielle Steele. That's what I'm thinking.
Danielle Steele. That was the one who was always there. Danielle Steele and Nora Roberts, like incredible. They sold so many books. It's wild.
Right.
But these are typically more modern than that, right? Okay. So a lot of them might be online. Some of them might be self-published. Melissa, who's the host, she has very particular tastes, very chaos energy about it, right? But it's a lot of fun. And so the one that we talked about was The Grim Reaper's Lawyer, which was actually really funny. I like it a lot. I can absolutely see it being a TV show, and I'm ready for the sequel. So
cool. All right, guys. So this was episode 48 of Roomies Reviews and Movies. And we will see you guys for episode 49. Bye.
Bye.
Go Chiefs.
Right.